Welcome to Sourced and Delivered, the TalentNet podcast where we share what's really working in direct sourcing and total talent attraction. Real strategies, real results, no fluff. In today's episode, Reengage and Rebuild. How a health insurer hired thousands and saved millions. We're diving into a powerful case study from a major U.S. health insurance company. The challenge? Hiring thousands of contingent workers for roles across IT, finance, customer service, and more, without relying solely on staffing agencies. The solution? A bold, internally managed direct sourcing program powered by TalentNet. You'll hear how they launched smart, scaled slowly, prioritized re-engaging former workers, and used real workforce data to build a program that's now hired over 3,700 people, grown a talent community of over 116,000, and saved the company more than $29 million. Let's break down the strategy, the tools, and the results behind this transformation, and why it just might inspire your next move.
Okay, let's unpack this. Picture a massive health insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
They need to hire thousands of people, but, not full-time. We're talking temporary, seasonal, project-based folks.
Right. The contingent workforce.
Exactly. Think IT pros for maybe a system upgrade, customer service reps for open enrollment season.
Finance people for year-end, clerical staff, even healthcare roles, yeah.
Right. So hiring that many people efficiently, getting top talent, and trying not to rely completely on outside agencies, which, let's face it, can get expensive, that's a huge business challenge.
Well, absolutely. It's something many, many large organizations grapple with. Workforce needs go up and down, projects start and end.
Sure.
And having that flexible talent pool is just essential. But scaling it efficiently, managing costs, keeping quality high, that takes, a real strategy. Not just filling seats.
Exactly. And that's what this deep dive is really all about today. We've got this fascinating case study right here. It details how a leading health insurance company tackled precisely this problem. They decided to build out their own capacity. They used something called direct sourcing.
And they partnered with a company called TalentNet to make it work, is that right?
That's it, TalentNet.
Yeah, what makes this case study interesting, I think, is that it's not just, we bought some software. It's about fundamentally rethinking how they found and engaged a really critical part of their workforce.
Absolutely. So our mission here is to dig into this source material, pull out the most important bits, the strategy, maybe some surprising facts, those aha moments, and really understand how they went from facing this big challenge to, hiring thousands and saving millions.
Those numbers definitely catch your eye. Worth looking closer.
They really do. And as you listen, maybe think about your own experiences, whether you're involved in hiring or maybe you've worked as a contractor or a seasonal employee yourself.
Mm-hmm. What were the friction points?
Exactly. What challenges did you see? Because this case, it offers some really smart ways one company found to sort of smooth those out.
Okay, so let's start with the problem they were trying to solve. What was the core issue?
Well, the source says their main goal was really twofold. First, cut down their dependence on third-party staffing suppliers for contingent workers.
Right, the agency.
Yeah, and second, by doing that, significantly cut their overall labor costs for these kinds of roles.
So it wasn't just about filling jobs quickly. It was a bigger shift in their whole operational model for finding this kind of talent.
That's how it reads.
Yeah. They wanted to expand their contingent and seasonal hiring program, definitely, but they needed a way to do it that was, super efficient and cost-effective.
While still getting good people, obviously.
Of course, yeah. Still ensuring they brought in high-quality talent. That's always the baseline.
And like we mentioned, the range of roles was pretty wide. IT, customer service, finance, clerical, healthcare. That sounds like it needs a versatile approach.
It certainly adds complexity, doesn't it? You're not just hiring for, say, one specific job function over and over.
Right.
You need a system, a process that can handle all these diverse skill sets and requirements across, lots of different departments.
Makes sense. Okay, so what was the actual solution they put in place? The case study says they kicked this off back in 2019.
Yes, launching a direct sourcing program and using TalentNet's platform to power it.
Right.
And what's interesting strategically is they chose to make it an internally managed program.
Ah, okay. So they didn't just outsource the whole thing.
No, they kept control. They built that capability inside their own organization.
Yeah.
And, they didn't try to boil the ocean right away. They started small.
Sensible.
Set achievable goals first, learned from that, and then scaled up. significantly, actually.
That phased approach seems smart. Lets you learn and tweak things before you go really big.
Exactly.
And while the focus was broadly on contingent work, both seasonal and year-round, the source material really highlights one key priority: intentionally building a talent pool specifically made up of former employees and contractors.
Ah, the re-engagement piece. That's really important. Leveraging existing relationships.
Yeah.
Think about it. These are people who've already worked there. They get the culture. They often need less onboarding.
Right. They can hit the ground running faster.
Precisely. So making them a priority for these contingent roles, that's tapping into a super valuable pre-vetted resource pool.
Totally makes sense. So how did the partnership with TalentNet actually help them, make this happen, put it into action? The study mentions a program readiness session.
Yes, that sounds like a really foundational step. It's described as multi-day, very data-centric, like a workshop.
Okay.
The goal, clearly, was to use the company's own hiring data, do a detailed demand analysis.
So figuring out exactly what kinds of people they needed, where and when, based on past patterns.
Exactly that. So it wasn't guesswork. They built the program based on their actual historical workforce data. And that analysis then helped them develop a cost-effective fulfillment plan, working together with TalentNet.
Got it. A plan based on real data?
Yeah, a plan that identified the most efficient ways to find those people, engage them, and ultimately hire them.
And getting those former workers back, or even attracting new folks, I imagine that really depends heavily on the candidate experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
The tech they use.
Oh, absolutely crucial. If the process is clunky or, difficult.
Especially for someone who worked there before.
Right, they'll just move on. There are other options. So the case study highlights using TalentNet's platform, describes it as intuitive.
Okay.
Making it easy for the company's own hiring team to find candidates and quickly contact them. Especially, it notes, during those big seasonal hiring pushes.
And I saw something about the platform being able to categorize candidates, like separating former workers from new applicants. That seems key if you're prioritizing the former group.
It does. And this detail, I thought this was really smart. Former employees and contractors could actually skip several steps when they reapplied.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it immediately removes friction. If you've already worked there, already proved yourself, you don't need to redo all the initial screening stuff. Makes it much, much faster for them to come back.
That's a massive incentive for that talent pool. Okay, but what about keeping people engaged when they're not currently working on an assignment? You build this big community. How do you keep them warm?
Good question. The study mentions maintaining a smooth communication process. Consistent touch points.
Like emails or something.
Yeah, things like that. Also, interestingly, it says they attended annual supplier summits, which makes you think they're almost treating their own talent community like a key supplier relationship.
Huh. That's an interesting perspective.
Isn't it?
Yep.
And they held monthly workshops, created newsletters, other campaigns, all specifically designed to nurture this growing community of potential hires.
So it wasn't just a static database, it was active relationship management.
Very much so. And this strategic focus on re-engaging former hires, it wasn't just like a nice side benefit. It sounds like it was a core, intentional part of their whole strategy from day one.
Yeah, it really seems baked in.
It was. They clearly saw the value locked up in that existing pool of people and built the program specifically to leverage it.
Okay, so let's recap the journey. They had a clear problem. High costs, too much reliance on third parties for contingent staff.
Right.
They implemented this strategic direct sourcing solution, focused heavily on former workers, used data analysis upfront, and a smooth tech platform for the experience.
Sure.
So the big question, what kind of results did all this actually deliver? Did it work?
Well, it started steady. They met their initial goal, which was hiring around 400 contingent positions in that first year, 2020.
Okay, 400, a solid start.
But that was just the beginning. The case study shows they really ramped it up from there.
Yeah.
Doubled their hiring goals in the following years.
Wow.
And just kept that growth going.
So what's the grand total then since 2019?
And the overall impact is pretty remarkable, actually. They've hired over 3,700 people through this specific direct sourcing program since they started.
3,700 hires. Just through this one channel they manage internally. That's impressive scale.
It is. And it wasn't just in one place either. They did this across more than 40 locations all over the U.S.
Okay, broad geographical reach, too.
And remember that focus on building the talent pool?
Yeah, the community of potential candidates.
It really paid off. That talent community, that nurtured group, grew to a massive 116,437 members.
Whoa, 116,000 people.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge asset right there. Readily available, often pre-qualified talent you can tap into directly.
That's an incredible number. But okay, the number that probably made the CFO happiest, the financial impact.
Right. The bottom line, the case study reports a cost avoidance of $29.1 million.
$29.1 million. Cost avoidance.
Yeah, and they frame that as a 25% reduction in their overall spend for their contingent workforce compared to previous methods.
Okay, just so we're clear, cost avoidance here means money they didn't spend, money they would have spent if they'd stuck with the old way, like using only agencies.
That's exactly it. By bringing such a large chunk of that hiring in-house through direct sourcing, they basically sidestep those third-party markups and fees that are usually built into agency rates.
Got it. Makes sense. And the source connects this saving directly to the efficiency gains, right? And the fact that they ran over 2/3 of their contingent spend through this new program.
Yeah, over 67%.
Yeah.
They took control, they streamlined the process using the platform and that focus on known talent, and yeah, they cut out significant external costs.
It really shows that direct link, doesn't it, between a smart talent strategy and, real tangible financial results.
Absolutely. The strategic focus, the platform's efficiency, making things smoother, that emphasis on re-engaging former workers, it all added up. You see it in the hiring volume, the community size, and critically, that multi-million-dollar cost saving.
So wrapping up this deep dive then, this case study of the health insurance company, it's a really powerful example, I think. It shows that a focused direct sourcing strategy, especially one that really prioritizes building that talent community from former workers.
And leverages tech for a smooth experience.
Right, can deliver just incredible results. We're talking, thousands of hires, big efficiency gains, and that stunning $29.1 million in cost avoidance, a 25% reduction in spend. That's huge.
You've heard how this one company got such remarkable results by sort of looking inwards, valuing their past talent relationships, and using smart technology to streamline how they hire contingent workers. Which raises an interesting question, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does make you think. Given how much success they had leveraging former workers just for those temp or seasonal roles,
but
how much untapped potential is just sitting there.
Right.
Engaging anyone who's already had a positive connection with an organization, maybe contractors, interns, even past full-time employees who left on good terms.
Could you tap into that pool, not just for contingent work, but maybe for filling other talent needs faster, more effectively?
Exactly. It really challenges you to maybe reconsider the ongoing value of those past connections. Food for thought.
That's it for this episode of Sourced and Delivered. If you're wondering what's possible when you invest in your past talent, build internal capacity, and use tech to streamline hiring, this case study says it all. Over 3,700 hires, a 116,000-strong talent community, and more than $29 million in cost avoidance, all from a direct sourcing program built on strategy, data, and smart re-engagement. Want to explore how this could work for your organization? Check out the episode notes for more. Make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you found this helpful, leave us a review. It helps others find the stories and strategies that deliver real results. Thanks for listening to Sourced and Delivered, presented by TalentNet. Until next time, keep sourcing smart and delivering value.